Microsoft has changed its very old way of doing things with a new free OS, but we have more specific details on that, called Windows for Internet of Things. It is a specifically mobile OS, and it's not exactly what you would think it would be. It's more free for developers to use. Typically, they would have to use a license, developers who are building apps and what have you. That has been taken off. But why was that taken off?
So basically, this operating system will be for anything that has a screen smaller than 9 inches. So tablets and phones and really portable, little, small mobile things. It's not their computer OS. It's not Windows 8.
That will never be free, and neither will Word, just so you know.
I mean, right, it'll never be free, except that Apple is making free operating systems for its computers now. So I don't know, the landscape is changing. But this, the Windows for Internet of Things,
which is a terrible name,
is basically to encourage more hardware makers to use the Windows operating system on their tablets and phones. So before, Nokia has to pay Microsoft to use the Windows operating system on their phone. Now they don't have to.
What other developers and I guess devices work in conjunction with Microsoft that this is applicable to?
Well, there's the Windows phones and Windows tablets, and they're hoping more things in the future. Right now, I mean, a lot of mobile devices use Android, which is free. It's open source. Anybody can put it on their phone for any reason whatsoever, and developers have really easy access to it. As far as the Apple OS X goes, it's only on Apple devices, so they don't really have to pay themselves to use it. But Microsoft was the one that you had to pay for to get on your machine, and that's not the case anymore.
So this is in a move to make not only Windows mobile OS more ubiquitous, but also to make the software more accessible for developers to build apps for it, which I think is a good move. I mean, I have an iPhone. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I do love that there's always apps for it though, and everyone uses it, and it gets the apps first. And I have that Find My iPhone app, which saved my ass a few times because I lose things. So I think that's a great move for Windows at least, to at least make themselves more part of the ease to get to it.
But how is this going to affect the users? I get that the developers are now being encouraged to use Microsoft versus Android or any other OS, but how would it affect us? If I were to trade in my iPhone for now a Microsoft device or one that works with Microsoft OS, does that affect me at all in price points or?
No, it won't. It probably won't make those phones any cheaper. There'll probably be more Windows-based phones available. In theory, this reduction in cost won't affect the consumer at all. It'll just affect the market as a whole, I think.
It seems that way. It just seems like it's more to make it more attractive to people who could make the phone more widely used, because I don't think Windows phones are bad, but there's I don't know that many people who actually have a Windows phone.
Right, and I mean, the Windows operating system is still the most prevalent one out there for computers by a long shot, but they're in third as far as mobile device goes.
Which is odd.
Behind Apple and behind Android. So they're really trying to get more competitive in that market because they suck at it right now. And this is probably the bold move that they needed to make, even though it'll make them less money.
Oh no, Microsoft isn't making enough money. They're really just going to take this one, this quarter. No, they won't. What do you think of Microsoft's new, aptly named Windows for Internet of Things? And would you ever consider buying a Windows phone if it were more easy and accessible for you? Let us know what you think below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe.